Hey everybody, I'm Craig from Lil's Gym, and I'm here right now with one of the absolute biggest living legends of strength sports. I've been lucky enough to be coached by and work with some of the absolute best coaches in the industry. On top of that list is a man like Louis Simmons, who invited me to his gym, allowed me to stay there, live in Ohio, learn some of the absolute best training information I've ever been exposed to, and now I've been able to take that one step further. I was recently in Alaska, living with, like I said, the biggest living legends in strength sports. And here today, he's been at my gym, helping with seminars, coaching athletes, and coaching myself. Now we're going to sit down, and you're going to get to learn some of the absolute best training information and training secrets from this man right here.
Look forward to working with you. Take advantage of it. This has been a lot of fun so far, and it's just going to get better and better every day.
Check out the rest of the video. If you have any questions, feel free to post them. We'll be able to get answers from Kaz and myself or anything we can help you with. And then stay tuned at the end of the video to see how you can take your training to the next level. So Kaz, obviously, I've kind of introduced your strength career to everyone. How would you define where you've been in terms of strength?
All across the spectrum, I guess. In 5th grade, I could press 110 pounds over my head. I was way ahead of the curve then. High school, at 220, I could press my body weight 5 times overhead. I never really lifted weights. I could do handstand push-ups, up and down and up and down. The first time I did a bench press, it was 300 pounds. A month later, I did 400 pounds. And in my mind, 500 and 600 were right behind that, and they were within a year and a couple of years. Tough to define. I've been, all across. Set a lot of world records. A lot of things. The first time I ever saw them, 56-pound weight toss over the bar, world record. Thomas inch dumbbell. 4 guys in 100 years picked it off the ground. I'd never seen it before. I became the 5th to pick it off the ground. I said, wait a minute, watch this. I put it on his hand, put it on my thigh, put it on my shoulder, and pressed it overhead to be the first to press a Thomas inch dumbbell. I set the world record in the bench press when there were 5 guys doing 600 one time. Nobody ever doubled it. I did 600 for 5. And I moved the record up 50 pounds up to 661. And I set the world record deadlift and total all at the same time. Those lifts just don't go together. How do I describe it? One of the best.
Voluminous, one of the best, easily. So in terms of that list, because there's obviously a huge list, and you guys should Google it if you don't know it already, of Kaz's world records and accomplishments. Favorite world record, favorite accomplishment, what was the ultimate?
There were so many of them that it's really tough to say because laying down on the bench is a really simple thing. I figured out the bench press in a way where I deciphered it, divided, conquered, made a picture, made it into a puzzle, worked on all the pieces, took it apart and put it together and became the best at it without much effort at all. So to define the best one, at the Bryn Mawr Games when I broke the world record in the 56-pound over the bar, that was pretty cool, but a week later they gave me a $10,000 car, 10,000-pound car, Voxel, to break the world record. And the rules are normally 3 throws. Well, they told me I only had 1 throw. And it was almost an interdimensional experience where time stopped. As I swung the weight between my legs and was about to release up overhead, time literally stopped. And when the weight took off, it was BAM! And I watched it sail over the bar. And then as I looked down at the weight on the ground, I looked over at my new car. So that was a lot of fun.
That makes sense. We were talking yesterday with one of the members on the International Highland Games Committee who was recollecting that same moment. So I think that was big for a lot of people, that achievement. So in terms of your rivalries in strongman, obviously there's been a million rivalries you've had. The biggest debate that I've always wondered, that I see people wondering online, Zydrunas Savickas and Bill Kazmaier are the 2 names people shout out when they're talking about the strongest man to ever live. From the horse's mouth, what do you think? You and Big Z.
I'm glad you brought that up. It gets me really excited to hear that name, Zydrunas Savickas. It makes my blood boil. If I could only turn back time 20 years. 10 years. I take it up with him every time I see him. I look him right in the eye. Oh, you'd think it was like 2 pythons, 2 gorillas, 2 bears ready to have it out. And we have an argument. And the argument is simple. We go back and forth. It's 2 boys, 8 years old, in the backyard. And I say to him, Zydrunas, you're the strongest man in the world because you did a 500-pound log press. And he turns around and goes, no, but Billy, you're the strongest in the world because you were 3 times strongest man world record holder in powerlifting. We go back and forth like two kids. The respect is incredible. And it's really, with different supplementation, different nutrition, different training methodology. If I wouldn't have done so much powerlifting, I didn't hardly do any strongman. First day I did a log, it was 365. I think a month later with some training, it would have been 400. So is 450 such a colossal log lift? Yeah, to most mortals, but to guys like Z and I, it's really not that big a deal. Kind of hard to tell who'd be the strongest.
So we might have to call this one a tie, at least for now. We'll let the history books continue to decide a rivalry like this.
Well, I continually look at Z and I go, you're the strongest in the world. You're the strongest there ever was. Z, everybody loves you. 4 times, you're going to have 5, maybe 6. You'll go down in history as being the strongest man ever. And I don't mind saying that because I try to help everybody around me all the time to become better every day in every way. And for me, I challenge people to shoot for the stars, soar with the eagles and hang out with the condors, and stay away from the chickens and the turkeys and be the best they can be at everything that they do. And if I can help them and encourage them and enlighten them, teach them, coach them, whatever it takes, I think I can bring out the best in a lot of people. And I've tried to do it at World's Strongest Man especially.
So Kaz obviously mentions doing that at World's Strongest Man. I don't know if he recognizes the impact and the depth of impact that he has on people everywhere. So I personally have recently spent a week living with Kaz in Alaska and came away from that with an unbelievable appreciation for work, hard work. And one thing that rings in my head all the time, the mantra, I can, I will. Can you tell me a little bit about where I can, I will comes from, what that means to people, how you've used that to literally take yourself from a kid who was lifting 100 pounds in the 5th grade to a strength legend?
Quite simply, as I was growing up, people told me I would be less than nothing, less than dirt. I was never encouraged, I was never given any kind of insights on how to become better. I had to learn it for myself. And I realized, as I heard people around me go, I'm not very good at that, I can't, I don't like it, I don't wanna. There's commercials on the radio right now for a math company that, little Billy's not good at math, and you hear him whining about how he can't do it, he doesn't want to do it, he hates it. That's all the negative stuff that just debilitates you. I realize that using words like I can, I will, I feel good, I feel great, I'm stronger. With every breath that comes into my body, I'm energized. There's energy all around me that I pull in and tap into. And with every exhalation, the good and the bad. Good comes in, the bad goes out. You exhale carbon monoxide, you get stronger with every breath. If you do that to a point where you're almost panting, and you're saying, I can, I will, and you see yourself doing something, and you visualize it, it's as simple as that. I can, you're convincing yourself. I will, you're using your will, the strongest thing you have in your whole existence. You put them together and repeat them with force. Simply, I can, I will, I can, I will, I can, I will. And then you just see it and do it.
I think that sums it up in terms of I can, I will, and you can see the results on the platform, on the World's Strongest Man. You can see it in the halls of Strength Hall of Fames, what that yielded for you. So you talked about having to figure it out for yourself. I'd like your top one thing, if you could go back, what would you tell the young Bill Kazmaier not to do in his training? What does he change? You give him one lesson.
The young or the world class?
Give me either.
World class, don't overtrain. 49 days, 49 workouts, never taking a day off, doing a ton of volume, it's probably too much. As I see the athletes that Louis Simmons trains, and I see them deadlifting once every 7 to 10 days, squatting heavy once every 7 days, I squatted and deadlifted every 3rd day, and I really hard and heavy. Partial squats after deadlifts with 1,000 pounds for sets of 5 going halfway, coming from the bottom halfway up. And my deadlift workout was 3 sets of 5 at 805 one week, 25 for 2 5s the next week, 775 for 5 5s in the squat, working up through 850 for 5. The poundages were incredible, and I really overtrained. So I would have probably back off in hindsight.
Okay. The number one thing that you would try to give to athletes today that you see them missing? Because I understand, for people who don't know, Kaz has not only become a strength legend, but he's mentored other strength legends. We're talking to Jamie Reeves, the Odie Wilson, up to guys like today that you're helping, like Eddie Hall, Jerry Pritchett, guys doing huge things today.
I like working with Hafthor. He's a magnificent athlete. Once we get him up to 500 pounds, he will be the strongest man who ever walked the planet. Except for the Anunnaki. Anyway.
So what would you be telling these guys? You've got a guy who wants to be Bill Kazmaier. You know, he's an intermediate lifter. He's trying to get better. What are the lifters of today missing? Their number one thing they're missing.
Maybe confidence and the visualization. We've had those techniques for 30 years now. To actually see yourself doing something in the gym, to rehearse it in the motion picture of your mind, to see it again and again. Practice makes perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. To be able to see yourself and never fail and know that you can do it and have confidence in yourself. As I said, shooting for the stars, I think a lot of athletes don't really expect enough from themselves. The human body is really incredible. You have a capacity for work and strength far beyond what you realize if you just can turn on the inner key. As Bill Pearl put it, keys to the inner universe. If you read his book, it's 2 inches thick. There's 50 exercises per muscle group. So the challenge for these young intermediate athletes is to find exercises that work for them. Out of 50, if you find 4 or 5 that work very well, and you start off with 2 sets, 3 sets, 4 sets, and get to 5 sets per exercise, you're going to go from intermediate to advanced pretty quickly. So it's finding your path and really being aggressive in your quest to be the best, and to be the best you can be. You simply say in the morning when you get up, thank you for this day. I vow to make this the best day of my life. As a matter of fact, every day in every way I want to become better and better. And today I will be stronger.
I love it. All right, guys. So we've talked a lot about why Kaz is here, the information, a little bit of information that Kaz can share with you. I've been extremely fortunate and had the blessing to work with some of the best coaches and best athletes in the entire fitness industry. Kaz being the absolute number one on that list. And now we're able to bring that opportunity to you guys.
I think this is really exciting for you guys. Hafthor Bjornsson wants me to move over to Iceland and train with him for a while. Eddie Hall's been asking me for routines and critique with everything he's doing. Benedict Magnuson and I will be working on his deadlift routine together next week in Ireland. But you know what? Even though I traverse the whole world and meet these great guys, I want to spend time with you and try to work with you to make you the best you can be.
Hey guys, I'm Craig and I'm the owner of Lil's Gym. What I've done, I don't know what I've done. First time I met you, I almost peed. Now we're doing this video together.
And there's food nearby. You'll be okay.
Okay, good. All right. 0 good sides.
Hi there.
You get the good side thing? Yeah. Hey guys.
There's no way of cutting this out.